Good morning, market snipers. This is Jesse. It's 9 a.m. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. We have a special guest today. One of our market snipers. I'm going to add him on here right now. Julian, good morning. What's up, Julian?
Good morning, guys. Yeah, everything's all right here in Switzerland.
Yeah, so Julian's going to share some charts with us today. I'm going to jump into the charts probably first, and then we'll just go spend probably 5, 10, 15. I don't know. Maybe I get on a rant for charts, but we'll share charts back and forth, and we'll sniper these charts and markets together with Julian. Quick little background, Julian. Julian's been in the Discord since day one, March. Were you the first one, or you're definitely in top 3, right?
Yeah, I wasn't the first. I think. Yeah, I think Stu was before me.
Oh, okay. So it was like you, Stu, Nick. You definitely in the top 5, right? So, and then there's only 7. I only took on 7 live coaching people ever, right? 7, and you were one of the magnificent 7, right? And then you brought on your brother. By the way, Julian's tuning in from Switzerland, so that's awesome. It's what 6 p.m. there.
Yes.
Yeah, so 6 p.m. Switzerland, and there was many times where it was like 9 or 10 p.m. Julian, Killian, Noah, and Lauren, they were tuning in at like 9 or 10 p.m. It was really late for them. And then we would spend like an hour, hour and a half. Sometimes we went, even when we weren't recording anymore, we went, 3 hours one time, didn't we?
Yeah, but it was very useful.
Yeah. So I only did live coaching, for that in 2022 for 7 people only. And I don't know if I'll ever do the live coaching again, but the cool thing is that I feel like all 7 of you really, really got it, right? And really get it overall. And so I'm pretty proud to see that you guys are doing very well over there. I love your guys' charts. You're always contributing to the Discord, giving back to the sniper community and all that stuff. So I appreciate it. And, you put in the work, right? The reason why you guys are doing so good with the charts and trading, and even your brother's killing it, right? Killian is killing it. And so, but you guys put in the work. So it's not like it's just it's overnight success, even though it felt like it because you guys learned it so quickly. I felt like you guys were doing so well over there, even after like a month, right? So, but we put in a lot of hours, we put in a lot of time, and it's paying off now, right? So, how are you guys doing now? Now that it's been a year and a half later, it's been pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's going good, but yeah, as you said, it really took some time to differentiate the consolidations from the move. And yeah, it's very important if you took a good trade, then to make a pause and let the market rest for a bit before you take the next trade. That's what I learned like in the last 1.5 years after the coaching.
Yeah. So the thing is, what you're talking about is you got to have patience, right?
Yeah.
And you got to be selective. So if you're always feeling the need to trade and always feeling the need to be in a trade, you're probably not going to be doing as good as if you're like patiently waiting for a setup to come to you and not always feeling you need to be in one and sticking to your strategy. And then, of course, you guys did a really great job of like learning to take profits. I think you implemented you take profits at like a certain target area. I don't know if this has changed or not because we haven't done a live coaching in a long time. But are you still taking some of the profits at key target areas, or do you kind of wait for like a main target to take all the profit, or what do you kind of do overall?
I like to take profit at specific targets, but for example, if we break out again from this target, then I'll scale the trade up again. Yeah, but sometimes I just wait for, with the recent move, like there were main targets on the way up, and if you then close your whole position and then you're with nothing left, it's not great because you're then going for a hunt. So sometimes I also let the position open fully and take profits on RSI breakdowns.
Yeah. So let's dive into some of these charts here, and then we're going to circle back. I got a lot more questions for you, so get comfortable over there. But and then we'll get to the comments, and we have a couple chart requests from the Discord. So over here, I kind of put them on here. ARC. So I don't know if you want to add these 4. I only picked 4 because some of them had like 6 to 10 requests, and we don't have. We probably won't want to be on here more than an hour total. We could be on here probably 5-6 hours, but let's just be on here for about an hour. So ARC, SHOP, CVNA, and LabU. I think it's the ETF, and so maybe put those 4 on, and we'll switch back and forth, but we'll circle back and come back to that. I want to dive into Bitcoin real fast and just kind of a quick recap, right? So the quick recap I have on Bitcoin is that we had bullish divergence followed by a reversal candle. And I posted this in the Discord talking about the bullish divergence followed by a reversal candle. And then it was putting a higher low, then a higher low, right? And then took off to the upside. And now we've been talking about bearish divergence, right? Bearish divergence followed by yesterday we were talking about a pending reversal candle, and it ended up closing with the reversal candle, right? So it doesn't mean it's going to go straight back down to a retracement, in my opinion. I think, very similar. If it plays out very similar to down here where you had a reverse candle, just kind of takes time, puts in a higher low, takes time, puts in a higher low, and then makes that bigger move up. It could kind of do the opposite of that, right? So you can see like kind of price come back up, put in a lower high, come down, put in a lower high, come down, put in a lower high, and then possibly a bigger retracement back here. And that kind of lines up with, a bigger correction back to like that 30,000, that 29,350 I've been kind of talking about on the videos and stuff like that before the next halving, right? So the next halving, is in April. And then, past cycles doesn't mean it's going to be, it's going to play out exactly the same or, but there are some similarities as of right now. And we hope it plays out very similarly or the same as last time, but we'll just take it level by level and trade by trade. But this is kind of what I'm seeing here, that we can, after that bearish divergence and reverse candle, there's like a confluence target area here. Are you seeing anything different, Julian, or are you kind of seeing very similar things here? And this is, of course, a longer term target. You can kind of remove that now. We got higher possible targets, but as of right now, we had the bearish divergence plus the reverse candle. So it seems like a correction's in. What are you seeing on the charts for Bitcoin right now?
I have a similar view, but for me, the move to the downside isn't confirmed yet. We have broken like a steep RSI trend yesterday on the daily chart, but if you connect the 2 bottom points, then we're still holding this trend, so it's not broken yet. And with the first two, lows at the beginning of this uptrend. And I think as long as we are not breaking this to the downside, and we could consolidate here for a while because prices on the Binance and perpetual charts holding the 0.236 and is currently fighting with the upper VWAP. So that's definitely a very crucial price level for the moment. And if I look at the weekly chart, it's also right now above the 0.382 and above the upper band. So yeah.
So I mean, just because the bearish divergence and the reverse candle, it doesn't mean it's like guaranteed that it's going to do a retracement, right? So kind of the reason why I put on this fractal is kind of show that it may take some time before a bigger move happens to the downside, right? So kind of even like even after this bullish divergence and reverse candle, before it had a really big move to the upside and had that last buy signal and moved back up above the 200-week moving average, it took some time, right? It took like a month. So I kind of just put this fractal on for like visual purposes that I'm not expecting, just exactly like you said, it's not confirmed yet, right? And I agree with you 100%. And what we always talked about, even when we did the recorded coaching and stuff, when would it be confirmed, right? When would it be confirmed? So if you got bearish divergence here, right? When would you consider it confirmed?
I would see it confirmed from, I mean, if we would get a close below the 0.382 and the breakdown of the RSI downtrend followed by, I mean, closing below the 50, that would be like the last confirmation, but that's too late in my opinion. And maybe we put in a lower high, which would be like also a higher probability. But as it currently looks like with the close below the trending dot, is like also makes it also a more greater likelihood that market has stopped for some time. Because yeah, as we went for the move to the 0.236, we consolidated for 120 days before we started this move up. And yeah, what I've seen from like the history of Bitcoin, in the bear market bounce scenario, there was plenty of time spent at the 0.236, and then at the next levels there was like less time spent at every level on the way to the 0.618. And the question I'm currently asking myself is if we are still on the way for like the 0.618 on the weekly chart, or if we or if the air is out and we're just waiting for the halving. So
just kind of a recap, because not everyone that's watching this live stream is a market sniper, Julian. So like when you're talking like the 0.236 and the 0.382, these are key areas, right, that you're looking at, and they're Fibonacci levels, right? So I just wanted to kind of point that out. When I know what you're talking about, market snipers know what you're talking about, but maybe not everyone. Maybe it's someone brand new to the live stream. Maybe they've never really traded before, stuff like that. So you're looking for like key target areas that you're watching, to where if price starts breaking down below that, and like the daily candle starts to close back below these key areas, that's kind of when you're seeing that, hey, it's kind of confirmed that we're going to see a bigger retracement down, along with the anchor VWAP current like deviation bands and lower highs and stuff like that. So you're taking in a ton of information over there, and you're kind of like put all that information together with the Fibonacci levels, anchor VWAP levels, and lower highs. And that's what I kind of, while you're talking, I was kind of drawing out, like, for visual purposes, like these lower highs, right? So like, of course, we're not expecting the fractal to work out exactly like this. I put the fractal on just to kind of like show an idea of what it could be like, where you got the bulls and the bears battling, right? Battling. And of course, this isn't going to show wicks, right? So it's going to show wicks. It's going to show wicks. Wicks up and down are going to be more like this, right? So it's not really showing wicks on these fractals. It only shows like candle closes, right? So you won't see like this wick. You won't see like this wick, stuff like that on a fractal. So, but for visual purposes, I'm just kind of like with the fractal, I'm just kind of explaining that, hey, it could go through some up and down battles with higher wicks or lower wicks along the way. And as it kind of takes like, maybe it takes like a week or 2 weeks or 4 weeks, right? Maybe it takes like 3 or 4 weeks to put in like lower highs and lower lows on the daily chart. And then finally, possibly a bigger move down after that, right? So that's like the main purpose of the fractals there. I got the Bitcoin dominance chart here. What do you think about this Bitcoin dominance chart? I've got it came back to I have some thoughts on it myself, but it started the retracement before like Bitcoin started retracing back down and had a reverse candle on bearish divergence. And you can see that like it started to break down, had some sell signals, and it may have found key support here, right? At this key target area. And now we have a pending buy signal. So with the crypto assets look like they're starting to correct, with Bitcoin having bearish divergence and a reverse candle, with Bitcoin dominance having a pending buy signal and might have found key support. What are your thoughts on this pending buy signal for Bitcoin dominance and or possibly finding support here?
Yeah, we can see it already in action today because some of the altcoins which had good moves with the breakdown of the Bitcoin dominance are down 7% today. So yeah, if we're in the correction mode right now and the dominance is breaking out to the upside, Bitcoin will make like a smaller correction and the altcoins will make a bigger correction. But I think some of them are definitely due for a correction. For example, Solana, which pumped like 200% from time to time. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I agree with you. So if we're looking at this, and if, like you said, it's not confirmed yet, but if Bitcoin is going to go through this bigger correction, right? And I'm also saying I agree with you, and it's not confirmed yet, but where it's very early stages where we saw and pointed out that Bitcoin, had bearish divergence, had additional bearish divergence, followed by a reversal candle. It seems the probabilities are starting to line up, and I agree with you 100% that it's not confirmed yet. But if Bitcoin is going through a correction, and if the crypto assets can continue to start correcting as well, some of them have has started the retracement, right? And we'll take a look at Solana, just like you talked about. Then it makes sense that Bitcoin dominance is kind of like possibly found support here at this key target area and is bouncing right now, because when Bitcoin is correcting and crypto assets are correcting, I would expect Bitcoin dominance to go up, because the reason why, in case you're not like, in case you're new to like Bitcoin dominance and Bitcoin in general and crypto and stuff like that, the reason why is because Bitcoin might be lesser to the upside and it might be lesser to the downside, right? So percentages wise, if Bitcoin and crypto are going through a correction, I expect Bitcoin to correct less percentage wise than crypto. So I just want to kind of give that explanation. Well, let's take a look at Solana, because since you brought it up, we talked about it, and I even posted a chart the other day. And by the way, I posted a chart on Twitter X app, so definitely go over there. And I've got Julian pulled up here. You can find Julian over on the Twitter X app at Julian DeFi, right? So at Julian DeFi, definitely go follow him. Obviously, I'm following him, right? And one of our longtime market snipers. And even before the Discord of March 2022, and even before the live coaching of March 2022, Julian's been following, and I've been following him on the Twitter X app probably like 2 years now, right? So probably at least 2 years. Already been in the Discord like a year and a half. So definitely go follow Julian DeFi over there, and get back to it. So on the Twitter X app, I posted this yesterday as well. I'm not sure if you saw it or not, but you just brought up a good point that Solana did have like a 200% pump. And I think the chart that I posted, from the buy signal all the way up to the top of the wick, was about 241%, right? So 241%. And then we have bearish divergence here. So I'm sure you saw like the bearish divergence here and here on the daily chart. And then after the bearish divergence, we did have a reversal candle. So we had a pending reversal candle yesterday after bearish divergence. And quickly, right after a 241% move, quietly and quickly, you can see Solana's already had a retracement from the top wick to the bottom wick of 20%. So that kind of ties in with Bitcoin dominance of where, hey, if Bitcoin is only down from wick to wick, right? If you kind of watch it here, wick to wick, well, not from that wick, but about 6%, right? Or call it 7%, where, so that's why Bitcoin dominance would be starting to pump up, because you come back to these crypto assets that move a lot more with a 240% increase, that now we have a retracement. And there's not even a sell signal yet. And there's not even a confirmation yet, right? It's still, it's not confirmed yet, and it is already down 20%. So I just want to kind of tie all that back in. And since you brought it up and you brought up Solana, I kind of want to tie that in. There was a couple other crypto assets that had a reversal candle. I don't know if do you have the reversal candle dialed in on the sharpshooter candles, or you're not really paying attention to the reversal candle?
I wasn't really looking at the indicator in the last few months, but I have to catch up there because, yeah, I concentrated on my charts, and that was like enough for me at the moment. But the reversal candles are great, and I hadn't really time to catch up.
Yeah, one thing I would recommend is doing a deeper dive. And we haven't talked like on a live call in a long time, but one thing I would recommend like kind of diving into is taking a look at this, like going back to like the bullish divergence and doing your research on it, followed by a reversal candle, right? So what I'm seeing more and more, and this is why I put it on the sharpshooter candles, is because after bullish divergence, if the next candle or the next couple candles has a reverse candle, I'm starting to like that a lot more and more, right? As like, hey, it's giving me really, really early warning. And then of course incorporate your actual trading into it. But if you're like as in like an alert system, almost like hey, watch out for this. It's telling you that it's got bearish divergence, right? And then bearish divergence even on this candle here, which this indicator is not picking up, but if I change the inputs, it might. So after the bearish divergence, having a reverse candle on the next candle or the next couple candles, definitely go back and take a deeper dive on that and do your research on it and do some back testing, just as like, letting you know that, hey, there could be a possible trend change. And then of course, like I said, incorporating what you do, because you've incorporated some of the market sniper stuff, but you've put your own spin on it, and you've actually you have your own trading, mixed in with it, right? So everyone's got like a little bit different variation of like my trading strategies. That can be exact, and some people do have it just dialed in exactly the way I do it, but you have your own little variation of it, and that's awesome, right? Whatever works best for you is the most important thing. So we talk about that a lot, is do what's comfortable for you. But that's one thing I would recommend, is going back and kind of back testing, because it's newer that we put on the reverse candle. And I've really only been talking about it if there's like divergence first. So if there's divergence followed by a reverse candle, I'm starting to like that more and more. So what are your thoughts on the NASDAQ, right? What are your thoughts on this NASDAQ move? I'm interested because we've been talking about it on the live streams here. And on the live streams, we've kind of been talking about that, it's possible, it's way too early, but it's possible this is a potentially double top and potentially a lower high, right? So are you seeing anything different, or are you kind of seeing that as well? What are your thoughts on the NASDAQ?
Yeah, I have a similar view, but I think theoretically on the weekly chart, I mean, there's a high possibility that we're doing the double top now, because levels wise it's rejecting at the 0.886 Fibonacci, so that's definitely a high likelihood that price rejects at this level. But what I also see is that we had like a new buy signal, and we're currently back above the trending dots. So yeah, it could take some time to break down again, because on the weekly chart, it definitely takes some time to break down again.
Yeah.
It could
So
be the top, but it's not like the indicators aren't really speaking for a reversal yet.
yeah. And like you said, the weekly chart is still currently bullish and had that buy signal back above the trending dots, like you mentioned and stuff. And it may not be a double top, right? Uh, but the higher probability is that, hey, if we're going to go see higher prices and we're going to take out the 2023 highs, right? And end up going back to retest the all time highs, if that's going to happen, my point has kind of been like, hey, maybe this is a temporary double top, comes back down, hits some of these shorter term targets, finds support, puts in a higher low, and that's why I have those lines, and then makes a run up, right? But I'd be surprised if it kept making these lower lows all the way down and then just shoots straight back up, right? That to me would be a bigger, I'd be surprised if that happens. It's possible, but I would just expect if this is not a double top, right? If this is not a double top on 2023, and if it doesn't start to break back down, then I would expect a higher low to be put in, and then price would come out after that, right? So it would kind of go through like a consolidation period. And like you just mentioned, it would take some time to play out, right? So like, everyone in the Discord thinks it's funny when I kind of like just do my TA like that, right? Where we don't know exactly how it's going to consolidate, but my expert TA over here, where I just do some squiggly lines and say, somehow it's going to consolidate and then make its next move higher. I think that's what would happen first if it was going to make all-time highs and if it's going to break through 2023 highs. But as of right now, I'm just kind of holding on to that. This could be a double top, and then we're going to find out if it's going to put in a higher low or if this was just the double top and it's going to end up coming back down and probably come down and possibly come back down to these lower targets. So anything else you're kind of seeing on that, or is that kind of what you're seeing overall as well?
Yes, that's what I'm seeing as well.
Awesome.
Just looking and waiting.
Yep, just remaining patient and stuff. But let's get back to the daily chart here. And one thing I want to kind of point out, and I talked about it on the description and stuff like that, is it had this big short squeeze up, had this bearish candle, right, with that big wick down and close back down. Just seemed like it's kind of like possibly losing momentum, but too early to say. And so I just want to take a quick look at the Dow Jones. Is it kind of like possibly losing momentum here? Is it going to put in a higher low at some point? Is the SP 500 kind of losing momentum? You got the Russell 2000, right? It's too early to say. We're not going to call it yet. And then we jump over here to the dollar, right? And on this big move up, you had like reversal candle, and then kind of what we talked about for Bitcoin, right? So if you bring this on, we've got bearish divergence followed by a reversal candle. And if you kind of look at this from October 4th all the way till November 1st. So exactly what we just talked about on Bitcoin. So let's just take a look at this. It doesn't mean it's going to happen exactly like it, but what if it played out very similar, where there was bearish divergence followed by a reversal candle followed by a 1 month kind of like battling, going through a topping pattern, right? And you kind of look at like the DXY, right? So you had bearish divergence followed by a reversal candle, and then it kind of went through this topping pattern with a lower high for about a month, right? And then it started to break down and had that sell signal. Then it had another lower high, and they came back down. So it hit target 1, hit target 2. And then on Bitcoin, this area down here, I got kind of lazy. I didn't draw out the 4 targets as usual. I just kind of did like a confluence area of that 31,000, 30,000. But it would be very similar to like if the DXY came back down and hit target 3 and possibly target 4. I just kind of like I said, I just got kind of lazy with the targets and just did like something like that, right? So that's kind of what I have for Bitcoin is that oval target area. It's just I kind of combined target 3 and 4. And so there's a lot of similarities. And, even though they don't play out exactly, when there's similar patterns that play out, you kind of spot it over time and time again, where you got bearish divergence, followed by reverse candle, followed by maybe 2 to 4 weeks of it kind of like going through a topping pattern, putting in that lower high. And then like what you and I just talked about is then we're starting to see that it's that higher probability, right? And then you got like it's starting to close back below the trending dots. It puts on a sell signal, closes below an upward longer term trend line, right? So all things that we're looking for. And then of course, at that point, that's when you're like, if you're going to look for shorts and stuff, you're looking to short the higher probabilities, which are the lower highs, right? Short it. And then the next lower high, short it, right? Short the bounce. And that's what's so awesome about you, the Magnificent Seven, in the live coaching crew, and of course, Discord snipers overall, is that you guys learned to do this in 2022. So one of the things that I think is going to be was a challenge in 2023 was, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys learned to short the bounces first, right? And then 2023 was starting to flip back around to buy the dips season again, right? So what do you think was that a challenge, and did you have to like kind of change your mindset a little bit, and if so, how long did it kind of take to kind of flip your mindset from shorting the bounces in 2022 and learning that way to like buying the dip again? Just share your thoughts on that.
I think it was great to learn it the different way because in the bull market 2021, I had success with leverage trading because everyone had it. And then, once the shorting season came, I started to lose most of the money I gained. And because I didn't understood that the market could go down, because all my sources said it would go up. And then I saw your Twitter posts, and then I learned that you could also have success with shorting the market. And then, it was definitely awesome to see with the last few Bitcoin rallies how it feels like if the market goes up, because shorting is great to gain money, but it's also like a bit more dangerous from my experience, because like especially with stocks, you have if they pump during the closed hours, you're locked in the position, and that doesn't happen with moves to the upside.
Yeah, and so like especially like you and Killian and the whole crew over there, right? You guys were shorting crypto, and so one positive is like when it's buy the dip season, uh, when you short crypto, yes, you can gain more crypto, but the value of the crypto is going down, so you almost have to outrun it, right? So it's not as great, but when you buy the dip on crypto, and you guys are using leverage over there, and when you buy it, not only does your leverage percentage go up, but the coin value goes up as well. So we shorted it in 2022, right? And there's times that we shorted in 2023, but I do prefer to like buy the dip because the coin values go up, and when you're like buying with leverage and stuff, just everything increases that much faster. So, but yeah, what you're referring to in the very beginning was that you're following some Twitter X, also known as X app now, back in like 2021, and it was like a lot of the up only crew. And then I remember you were following me in 2021, and that's why you end up. And then you started to see some of my posts that, hey, I'm shorting these bounces, and then you saw like, hey, it's not up only, right? And I think you're even. I think you end up getting out of it, but you're even in like the whole game stop and all of that stuff, right? At what point did you finally say, yeah, game is not up only, and then you finally got out of game?
Um,
Because you made money on game, but you were still playing with it for a long time, right?
yeah, it was like I started to. My father told me about like GameStop, for the first time I heard about it, and then I went on Reddit and read about the cult, and yeah, charting wise, it didn't make any sense to hold it, and yeah, then I sold it, but it was like just yeah, if someone on YouTube tells you Bitcoin is going to $150,000 next, it's like the same when some people on Reddit believe that and a stock goes up again. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like the prime example of a short squeeze and then the retracements, and now it looks like it's going to its roots again.
Yeah, and just kind of like, back up, that was it. January 2021 was the peak, right? And I remember like we were talking about it, I think it was like back in here, maybe from like March 2022 to like maybe not even August, but like June of 2022. And I was just saying that like I don't know when you exactly got out, I'm pretty sure you made money off of it. I can't remember exactly our conversations, but I just remember from this time period here, I was just saying that I thought it was in a bear market, and just watch it, that it could possibly continue to keep going down, right? And then here we are, right? So back then, prices were about like, just say $30 to $40, right? Whatever it was. We don't need to know the exact details, but $30 to $40. And then here we are, like 1 year later from there, price is down at $13. So my only point to this is that, trust the charts overall. And when
Mhm.
price pumps up that high and it looks like it's going into like a bear market, it can remain in a bear market for much longer than what people think. And no matter what people say, whether it's on Reddit or the Twitter X app or YouTube or TV for that matter, right? Just because they're on TV doesn't mean they know the charts. And I would say most of them probably don't know the charts. That you have to be able to learn the charts. You did. And then you have to be able to trust what you see on the charts. And in my opinion, I think you do know the charts, right? And I think you knew the charts very early on in the live streams, and I was very surprised how fast you and the Magnificent Seven snipers that we did live coaching with actually picked it up very quickly, and I was very surprised. And so obviously, it's not a very complicated strategy, and that's by design. Like we want to keep the strategy as simple as possible, because when you're in the moment of trading and investing, you have to make tough decisions. And the less decisions you have to consult on the strategy itself, if you got 20 something different indicators telling you 20 different things, how are you going to make a decision in real time of what to do? So I try to keep it as simple as possible. Yeah, it seems complicated maybe at first, but really, if you kind of do a deeper dive on the strategy, it's really simple overall. And then it's kind of like just comes down to like execution. So in my opinion, I think like learning the strategy overall is fairly simple. And then it's more of like, can you execute it? What are your thoughts on like, it seemed like it was, in my opinion, it seemed like you guys picked up the strategy very, very simply, and then it came down to execution. Would you agree with that? And how long do you think it took before you learned like the strategy and overall like trading? And then like, when you thought you started, like, how long did it take for you to think that you started like dialing it in? I'm just curious.
So just to make that sure, I'm learning every day when I check the charts, and I think that's like awesome, because if you spend like an hour at the charts, you get better an hour every day. And for me, yeah, I totally agree with it that you can pick up the strategy very quickly, but it's really the mindset thing, or like you have to get some sort of feeling for it, because otherwise you yeah, I mean, it took like, I think, at least half a year or longer for me to really dial it in, because I took some great trades, and then in the consolidation I went on the lower time frames and gave it all back to the market. And that's like the important thing, that you keep your risk to reward opportunities at the same level, because if you get a great move on the daily, you can lose it all with 5 bad trades on the 4 hourly again. And for me, I really started to have success after I said I stay on the daily and the 12 hourly the lowest, because I don't have as much time as I had for trading. So yeah, it's a win-win situation for me, and because it's much more simple for me to keep the overview if I check the higher time frames only, without looking at the lower time frames. Because like, if there's a great move, as we have seen right now, you can see even there's a buy signal, and you don't need the lower time frames to catch that. So yeah.
And I agree with that. And I talked about that a lot on like the live coaching. And many people start on the lower time frames because they're anxious to get in. And you made a very great point there. And many times, I think you recall back, I said, I think the daily chart is more than enough, maybe the 12-hour chart, but I think it's more than enough. And like, but you do need that sniper patience. And I feel like, and this is just my own personal opinion, and I do day trades and I do scalps and stuff, but for my main account, I do not, right? So my main account, I don't do it. So you could have multiple strategies and execute different ones, but for the main account, what I always talked about was that I feel like if you can do the daily chart and have the patience for that, number one, you have more time, right? You don't have to and you don't have to be right as often, right? And I feel like the amount of times that you're going to be right is going to be a much higher percentage. And my personal opinion is that you're going to be overall more profitable in the long run, and you're not going to be as wore out. So I feel like if you're trading the main accounts with day trading and scalping, I feel like you're going to get wore out, and eventually those percentage of losses is going to be higher, and I think that takes a toll on you mentally. And some people claim that that's how they're successful and stuff like that, but I would just say, we only hear about their wins. We never see their losses, right? So just be cautious of who you're watching out there, and the day traders and scalpers who make quote unquote millions of dollars and stuff like that, because you only hear about their wins, and of course they're selling courses and stuff like that. So just be cautious of it. But what I always talked about in the coaching, and it's on the recorded coaching videos and stuff, is that I challenge you to maybe try the daily chart with the bigger accounts. And, I think you'll be more profitable, and you could still live like your life. You could still do your job. You could still, run your business. You could still be in school. You could still do all of that based off the daily chart. And you can see that you probably just had to take this buy signal, like you said, and of course, apply other TAs, not just based off of this indicator. If it was that easy, that'd be awesome. But this indicator is not enough on its own, even though it looks like it is. But the buy signal, and take that profit, you can see even from there, it's all the way up to the top wick is what is that? I don't know. Let's see, probably 20%. I don't know. Let me see. From there, yeah, 40% move, right? So 40% move on it. It's more than enough to make 40% on a move in a matter of a couple months, right? So that's my only thoughts on it. Let's keep going. We're 45 minutes in, and I don't want to keep you all day. So let's run through these comments, and then are you able to share your chart? Because if so, let's have you take a look at ARC, Shop, and then if not, we can look at CVNA and Labu before we jump off of here. West Diddy, Morning Market Snipers. Good morning, everyone. Grant Matterson, longtime sniper in the Discord. Hey, Jesse, good to see you. Julian, kicking butt. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's go, Market Snipers. Hi, Jesse and Killian. Sorry if I misspelled your name. Yep, you definitely did. That's definitely not how you spell Killian's name, right? Rick's Moneymaker Telton, Julian. Now I got it. Got it. All right. John Pye, 4K Mod, sub Jesse, grabbing sniper rifle. Yep. Arnold, good morning, good afternoon, longtime sniper. Okay. Rick's sniped a quick $700 profit this morning with Solana for some Thanksgiving dinner money. Awesome. We will have about 40 family members over Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot, Rick. Not everyone celebrates Thanksgiving I think it's only in the U.S., right? Julian, you guys don't do Thanksgiving in other countries, right?
No.
Yeah, it's only a U.S. thing, so not everyone's going to know what that is. What that means to us, like even if like Thanksgiving, you don't really care about the holiday itself. It's one of my favorite reasons to get together with family. And the reason why is because we all kind of sit around and just eat too much good food. And I'll have some like pumpkin pie and stuff. So that's like the big significance is it's just a good reason to get together with family and close friends, eat too much food, eat too much pie. And of course, we watch some football on Thanksgiving. So that's why it's a big deal for me. I love Thanksgiving. And it's not really because of why it became a holiday, but why it is a holiday today for me is because of it just gives me a reason to get together with family, eat a lot of food, like I said, and watch football. So it's one of my favorite holidays. Looks like we lost Julian. Maybe he can come back on. Maybe he accidentally took himself off or he had to leave. But Julian just disappeared. We're going to keep going. 23 watching, 12 likes only. Yes, smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Help me, help you, help me. Smash that subscribe, smash that like button. And Julian is on here with us today. And going back to the comments, Killian. Hey, Jesse. What's up, Julian? What's up, Killian? Welcome. Shooter, by the way, longtime sniper. Killian was one of the Magnificent Seven on the live coaching, and of course is Julian's brother. And Julian, welcome back. We lost you there for a bit.
Yeah, there was an internet problem for a short time.
That's all right. I was just rambling about Thanksgiving and eating too much and watching football, anyways. And then of course, just talking about how Killian was one of the Magnificent Seven and is your brother over there in Switzerland, which is awesome. The duo over there. Shooter, by the way, longtime Discord member over there. And Arnold, obviously, Julian Killian killing it. Yep, I agree with that. So we had a couple requests. And so were you able to share your screen? I'm not sure if you were. If not, we could look at mine. It's not that big of a deal. Oh, yeah, there it is. I see it. So I'm going to add your chart. What chart are you looking at? Are you looking at ARC?
It's the Shopify weekly chart.
Oh, Shopify? Okay. Yes. All right. So we've got ARC, Shop, CVNA, and Labu. So if you do Shop, I'll do ARC, and then we'll share your screen for Shop, and let's do it. So we'll just kind of map it out, kind of like I am now, where looking at ARC on the daily chart, had this big correction, right? So had this big correction, and then what I'm kind of looking at here on ARC is that there is bullish divergence. So this big correction, let's see, going back from here down to here was about 34% correction over a span of from July till October. So, almost 2 or 3 months, right? So 2 to 3 months of a correction, and it was a big 40% correction, followed by bullish divergence, followed by started to break out, gapped up, right? So buy signal, and now it's just going through, it's still bullish on the daily chart. And so just kind of watching it like that. And then the weekly chart, had the reversal candle in the weekly chart. So reversal candle in the weekly chart, and then had a candle close back above the trending dots. And then now we have a pending buy signal on ARK. So why is that interesting, right? So why it's interesting is you got a buy signal in the daily chart, had bullish divergence. This looks like the low back here on my opinion here is that, and of course, none of anything me or Julian talk about is financial advice whatsoever. Always do your own research and definitely learn to trade and invest on your own. This is educational and entertainment purposes only. So looks like the low back here, in my opinion. This is looking like a higher low macro-wise, followed by a reversal candle, starting to regain the trending dots. Now we have a pending buy signal. So kind of looking back from here, ARK Invest, if you look at it, Julian, from the top down to that low, 81% off, right? And it's been in a bear market since February 2021. So we're looking at 2.5 years that it was in a bear market, right? 2.5 years looks like a higher low. Are you seeing anything different? And or are you kind of everything what I'm kind of talking about is what you're seeing as well? And anything else that jumps out at you on ARK Innovation ETF? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it was in a bottoming phase, and now, yeah, we have like the triple combination with the indicator, and like the blue band is definitely looking like a potential target if this is no fake out.
Yeah. So if you kind of look at like the sharpshooter RSI too, you got, like you said, you went through a bottoming phase. And if you count like RSI bullish divergence, it literally went through like a bottoming phase on RSI for like from January 2022, almost 2 years. It's like 1 year, 1 3/4, right? It's almost 2 years that from this standpoint of where price started to break down from the 200-week moving average. This blue line is the 200-week moving average, right? It went through this bottoming phase and has bullish divergence and looks like, a higher low here. So the probabilities are stacked up that the bottom is in on ARK. Obviously, never a guarantee. And then this is a higher low, followed by a reverse candle, followed by a pending buy signal, right? It seems like after all of this pain back here, if you were an ARK ETF and you held through all of this pain back here, it seems like you're going to start to get some of your investment back because, it hasn't retested the 200-week moving average since February 2022. You had bullish divergence going all the way back. And by the way, this is a request from the Discord, right? If I didn't mention that before, but so I hope they're on here. And I think it was Jax in the Discord requested it. I had like 4 requests, but I only took 2 just to save time for purposes of saving time. So kind of broke down from here, went through this bullish divergence, right? And then, here we are. Seems like the probabilities are stacked up. And like you said, a good longer term target. What if ARK ETF retested the 200-week moving average, which it hasn't done in a long time? Then price would be at about $72, and it would be an increase from here of about 68%. So currently, the 200-week moving average, as you can see back up over here, is at $72.66. So that is ARK. Now let's move over to Shop. And we're going to have you take it on. I'm going to add your chart over here. Let me know if it works, everyone. And we are live with Julian DeFi chart over here. And what are you seeing on Shop? Take it away.
So what I'm seeing on Shop is that it has also put in like bullish divergence before this recent move to the upside.
Okay, I love that. Yep.
This recent move to the upside was then followed by a retracement to the 0.5.
Okay.
Yeah, we closed below the VWAP and then we touched the 0.5 just to shoot up again the next week. But this huge candle followed resulted in an RSI breakout here. And right now it's interesting because we are also in a double top potential formation similar to NASDAQ. We can also see that the RSI is currently right at the previous uptrend, so this could be like a backtest scenario, but the MACD has crossed bullish above zero, which is rather speaking for the bullish side, but this indicator is not leading, it's like following, so this could be the result of this massive move to the upside. Yeah, it's like it looks like, I mean, you don't take any trades on this right now, because if you would have taken the trade, this would be your late weekly entry. And yeah, I mean, the daily chart looks like crap in my opinion.
Yeah.
But if you would have taken the trade or you watched it, your RSI entry was here. I mean, this was an awesome entry because it gapped up, then it closed above, it gapped up again here. And on the daily chart, we're currently as well below the 0.886. But the RSI is not breaking down at the moment, and the MACD is also bullish. So I think we could see some consolidation if we don't close above the 0.886 and make a decision afterwards. I mean,
So,
it looks,
but what you're saying is it doesn't look great because it feels like chasing right now.
yes, definitely.
Because it is bullish on the daily chart, and actually on the daily chart it's ultra bullish right now. So it's ultra bullish on the daily chart, and on the weekly chart I'm seeing the same thing, right? So if we kind of switch back over here, we're keep your chart going too, because we're gonna have you look at we want you to do some of the other charts too, right? So again, very similar to ARK ETF, you got the bullish divergence, like you pointed out, right? And remember, this is like from all-time highs is down huge, right? So it is down huge from way back here, 86% off from the top down to the low back here in October 2022. Went through the bottoming phase, right? This could be a higher low, right? But at this point, like if someone was asking about shop, hopefully they are already in a position, because you nailed the entry perfectly. That like on your chart, like before they gapped it up on the daily chart, we could have possibly been in on this candle based off of the way the strategy is built, right? So it's possible that you could have gotten in here and then they gapped it up and then the buy signal, because we're typically a little bit earlier than what the indicators say, right? And so this was your entry down here, and then you got the buy signal. I wouldn't be chasing up in here at $59, and I definitely wouldn't be personally chasing it up here when the candles are starting to look ultra bullish. But exactly like what you said, the only thing I can add to what you said is that there was this looks like a higher low, and then you got a reversal candle, and it's back above the trending dots, and now this we had the RSI buy signal pending right now. Also had a buy signal on the reversal candle on the weekly chart. So now, I just wouldn't personally want to chase it right now. It's more of if you're already in a position, you can see like the MACD is like pending a crossover, RSI is pending a crossover, but we had a buy signal on the weekly chart and a reversal candle back here a couple weeks ago, right? So you wouldn't want to chase it now, but if you're in a position now, the only thing I could add is that you'd want to like try to push your position as long as possible, knowing basically what you talked about. It's 50-50 right now at this point, because you're right into resistance. So at resistance, will there be a pullback this week or next week? Probably, possibly next week. But if not, this would be like another good target here. And it hasn't retested this 200-week moving average in a long time, right? So a lot of times you'll see me put on these stupid magnets, right? Hasn't retested 200-week moving average since March 2022. So talk about, it's overdue, right? it's overdue from retesting the 200-week moving average. Let's keep going. Let's rock and roll. Do you have CVNA by chance?
Yeah, I haven't
Okay.
charted that one.
All right, let me add you back on CVNA. Julian taking over. Sniper. Here we go.
I have to edit it first.
Oh, you got to add it? Okay, no problem. Let's see. CVNA Carvana company. Yep, there you go. Now you got it. So the first thing that jumps out to me is, starting to look bullish on the weekly chart, right?
Yeah. It's like the thing with like the Shopify chart, what I wanted to add is that sometimes in the charts there's like a no man's land where you can keep your position and hope that it will rise further or down further, but you can't say with like precision if it where it goes next. And that's like, I think that's what many people who don't have success don't understand, that you can just say on the breakout now there's a higher chance for it going up, but if it's like just pumping, you can't say where it's going next. And the thing I see here is that the MACD is above zero, but is bearishly crossed. But this doesn't have to mean anything at the moment, because if we switch on the sharpshooter candles, we can see a pending buy signal, and we are currently bouncing on our important level, which is the 0.5. This is like a half retracement from the top to the bottom. This is definitely a better probability for an entry than Shopify, but we're below the trending dots, which could also mean that it's a fake out, because
this one doesn't feel like chasing to me, right? So I agree with you on that one. So like if we kind of look at overall, like on the weekly chart, remember Carvana got crushed as well, right? So Carvana, down 377 all the way down 99% off, right? So from the top down the bottom, 99% off. That is crazy. I don't even remember seeing a one that's 99 that was 99% off on a stock. I'm sure there's several of them. I just haven't. I remember seeing like 97 or 96, but yeah, that's crazy. The weekly chart, like you said, may have found key support. There's that long-term bullish divergence. Maybe there's this is going to be a higher low, but in real time, we just watched a pending buy signal on the weekly chart flash off, right? So that's one of the cool things, is like it's not always in hindsight. Like it tells us in real time, like if it's pending a MACD crossover, or if it's pending a buy signal, or the reverse candle is pending, like in real time. But this is bullish divergence. This could be a sneaky higher low. This is possibly flashed on again, right? So could be another higher low. Like you said, it was at key target support area, but it's too early to say based on the weekly chart, just like you said, because it's below the trailing dots, and it's not a buy signal yet, and it's still pending. But if you look on the daily chart, right, it was oversold, kind of bounced up, possibly put in another higher low here, and maybe it finds support at the trending dots, but too early to say. So it's more of like if you're going to be looking for a long position on Carvana, wouldn't you agree that it's caution, right? It's just caution, right? So not something I'm interested in, but it looks better than taking a Shopify entry, like you said. So Labu, we're already 4 minutes over. I don't want to keep you too long, so we're going to keep going. Labu, pending buy signal on Dirixion daily S&P biotech bull 3x shares. So this is a hardcore sniper in the Discord, because they're looking at a 3x bull, which is 3x leverage ETF. It's a pending buy signal on the daily chart, so kind of moved up. Looks like a higher. Here, let's kind of zoom in here. Looks like a low, possibly a higher low, and it's had a buy signal, sell signal, kind of battling, and now it's kind of breaking through. So if you get a buy signal and it's like going to take out this this pivot here, right? Then that would be like a higher probability that at least this bounce up here is going to be making a move. Weekly chart, still too early on the weekly chart. Possible long-term bullish divergence, possible still below the trending dots. There is a RSI pending buy signal, so it's really early, not even a MACD bullish crossover. So this could be quite the potential opportunity. It's still extremely early, and holy moly guacamole, what a move down it was from there. 99%, let's call it, bullish divergence. Not even a higher low yet, well below the 200-week moving average. $37 is where the 200-week moving average. This is extremely high risk, potentially extremely high reward, but then also high risk. You could lose a lot of money. Any other charts you want to take a look at here, Julian? Before we get going, we're a little over an hour right now, or if not, we can call it here. But any last charts or any last words you want to say?
I found the US oil chart is pretty interesting at the moment.
Okay, yeah, U.S. oil. We kind of covered it on the live streams here and there. People are really interested in it, and so let's take a look at it here. Do you have it pulled up, and what are you looking at?
It's like on the weekly chart, it's in my opinion at a point where it will make a decision.
Okay.
The indicators are, I mean, the bulls have like the last chance to start a bounce from the current area. Because on the weekly chart there are some,
Here's the weekly chart.
If you can I show my chart real quick?
Yeah. You got it?
Yes.
All right, there you go.
So,
all right, take over. Here you go. I'll just sit back.
in general, we had like this huge move to the upside.
Yep.
And then we started a retracement again to the 0.5 level and bounced from there, got front ran and started the retracement again with a sell signal here below the trending dots, which is like the best one in my opinion.
Yeah.
And right now we're straight into the RSI main trend. So with that, price is sitting on the key area here. So there's definitely a possibility that we're going for like a retest of the trending dots before going down to the lower 0.618 in my opinion, because on the chart you pulled up, I saw that it could look like that the daily RSI is making some sort of a bottom. It doesn't have like bullish divergence.
Oh, on the daily chart?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw that. I saw the exact same thing as you did. So the only thing I would say caution wise, right? So caution wise, I'll just add the chart over here. A couple of things. I did see the exact same thing you did here. I would consider that, I say bullish divergence, but I would say it's slight bullish divergence, because there is a difference where it's not as clear. But like if you look at it,
No.
it's close, but maybe not even call it divergence once I zoom in on it a little bit. But from afar, it does look like almost like a double bottom, right? If you zoom in on it, it doesn't look as much as like bullish divergence, but kind of, you can almost say almost like slight bullish divergence, or a double bottom on the 30 and see if it kind of pushes up. It's pretty early though, right? So here are the cautions on it. Is the MACD is still trending down. Overall, the RSI in the daily chart is still at like 40, so it's still bearish, right? It's still below the trending dots, and as of right now, it's still guessing if it's a reversal. And then if you look over at the weekly chart, it's still trending down overall in the weekly chart. So like one of the things I talked about in the live streams back here was Aldo. I don't see him on here, but Aldo was talking about it. And then he was in a long position based off of lower time frames. And I just said, be cautious because there's not a higher probability reversal yet. Doesn't mean there couldn't be. And then lo and behold, it did drop down further. So it is caution for me right now. And I would wait for a higher probability reversal. But like you said, it is possible it could be finding support at a key target area. And you pulled up a key target area and like it did find support at that key target area along with the 200-week moving average. And there was a reverse candle, turns out, back here. And that was, ended up being like one of the lows. And of course, even though it wicked below it, that was one of the bottoming factors there. So caution is that, the trending dots are red depending on what settings you have it on. And it is trending down. I think you have it on the default ones of 21, which I flip back and forth 21 and 15. But I have mine currently on 15 right now for like the weekly charts and stuff. So MACD is trending down. RSI is trending down the weekly chart. Everything's kind of trending down. Could it find support? Yeah. But if it does, it would take some time for it to kind of like find support over a couple of weeks, go through a bottoming phase, and then come out to the upside. So I would just say caution right now if you're doing shorter time frames, that the bounces continue to get sold off. So this bounce was sold off. This bounce was sold off. So I would just say err on the side of caution. With that, thank you so much, Julian. Thanks for being a longtime supporter. Thanks for doing the live coaching with me. You've been in the Discord forever. Thanks for giving back to the community. I appreciate you, Killian, Noah, your whole crew over there, Lauren, your whole crew in Switzerland. Of course, all the market snipers, everyone on here. Any last words of wisdom or shout outs or anything you want to do, make sure to go follow Julian over there, Julian DeFi over there. Make sure to go follow him over there. Any last words?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun talking about the charts again. And yeah, have a nice weekend, guys.
Yeah, have a good weekend, everyone. Thank God it's Friday, and I hope you have a good weekend too, Julian. And I do miss this, even though it did take a lot of energy to do the live coaching. I did build some good relationships with the Magnificent Seven over there, and I do miss jumping on. We used to do Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we did it hard. We did it for an hour minimum. We would run an hour and a half, and even when it wasn't recording, we'd go like hour and a half, 2 hours, and we even hit it 3 hours hard one time. And so I do miss jumping on calls with you guys, but like I said, it was just taking too much of my energy, and it's not in my thing to charge tens of thousands of dollars. I didn't charge very much. So I either had to quit it or, charge you $10,000. And so I chose not to continue on. But I do miss jumping on calls with you guys. So thanks again. I appreciate everyone. Smash that like, smash the subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. And we'll talk later, Julian. Thanks, my man. Appreciate it.
Bye. Have a nice day.
You too. Have a